Howdy, I'm back and it's Wednesday, July 1st. I don't know how it got to be July, but so be it. And so as we move into this new month, I thought we would have a nice relaxing practice. A couple weeks ago when we did the Yoga Nidra, we did a reclining or supine lying down practice, and but we only got about 20 minutes of that practice. So I thought we would do a nice complete practice lying down. And so that's why I've got my video turned to landscape. So that probably looks a little different. So I thought we would start with our foot massages. So if you have a tennis ball, you're going to stand up. If you would rather do the massage with just your foot, without a tennis ball, with just using your hands, then you can stay seated. So if you're standing up and using the tennis ball, you guys know that you're just rolling the ball under your foot, applying some real pressure to get in there and work that. If you are doing the massage using your hands, we're going to start with the toes and we're going to pull them one way and then the other. So we're just going to get the foot massage sort of out of the way here before we lie down and kind of do our centering and start class, in case you're wondering why I'm starting so abruptly. So we're just using our hands to pull the toes one way and then the other to get a nice stretch for those toes. We put them in shoes all the time and squish them up, so this kind of gives them some space to maneuver. And then you can give each toe a tug if that feels okay. And then the seated people, we're going to use our thumbs on the ball of the foot to just massage, press, and rub. And meanwhile, the people with the tennis ball are going to have the ball under the ball of the foot, and you're going to be rocking it side to side. So remember how that goes. When you're standing up, you're just rocking that foot side to side. And again, those of us who are seated are just using our thumbs to kind of simulate that nice massage on the ball of the foot. You can even kind of twist and turn your foot a little bit to manipulate those tissues, just like the people using the ball are doing. And then go ahead and bring the ball, I'll go ahead and keep using my hand, bring the ball so that it's just in front of the heel and your toes are down and you're just stepping on that ball. Remember how that works, just stepping on the ball with it placed right in front of your heel, just forward of your heel. Meanwhile, the seated people are going to simulate the same kind of outcome here, sort of the same pressure by using the thumbs in that exact same spot, just forward of the heel, and apply some pressure there. Kind of really dig in if it feels okay to do that. And then we'll switch. So people using the tennis ball are going to switch feet. Seated people will also switch feet. And the seated people are pulling the toes. And the tennis ball people are just doing that general overall check-in, getting in there with some pressure all over the sole of the foot. And then the tennis ball people will be putting the ball under the ball of the foot and pressing down on the ball of the foot And rocking that forefoot side to side. And those of us seated are using our thumbs for a little pressing and rubbing and just giving some love and care to the ball of the foot. And then the tennis ball people will roll that ball back so that it's just forward of the heel. And you're just gonna step on that ball with as much weight as your foot will tolerate. And meanwhile, we'll simulate that pressure with our thumbs. Just kind of pressing in there. You can just press and hold if you like, and just kind of move your fingers around a little bit. And then relax that. And if you're using the ball, go ahead and set that aside so it doesn't get in your way. And the rest of us are going to lie down on our mats. And I'm just going to kind of lie down. And remember, I will be looking at the camera, so I'm going to prop my head up. But you should probably have your head flat on your mat if that works for you. Maybe just a little cushion. And you can have your knees bent or your legs straight. Let your arms relax. Let your eyes drift closed. Just take a few breaths. Let yourself settle back into the here and now. Let your head be heavy, your shoulders, your ribs. Let your hips be heavy, your legs, your feet. Just let everything relax. And so with your eyes closed, take a few moments to use your other senses to take in your surroundings. Notice what you can hear, what you can feel, what you can smell, taste. Notice your clothing against your skin. And And finally, bring your attention to your breath. If you want, you could even bring a hand to your chest and a hand to your belly to help you tune in a bit more to your natural breath. And as you do start to settle a bit more fully into stillness, just notice whatever is there to be noticed in your body. What parts of your body might be needing a little extra care? What parts of your body are experiencing ease and comfort today as you start your practice? And so for your next few breaths, give a little bit of extra attention to each out breath. So just let each exhalation be full and complete. And so with your next inhalation, let your arms float all the way up overhead. Good. Stretch out long. If you want to clasp your hands and turn your palms inside out toward the wall behind you, you can do that. Just get a nice long stretch. A couple of easy breaths here. And from here, bring your knees to your chest, wrap your arms around your legs, and we'll rock side to side. And then with one hand on each kneecap, we'll guide the knees apart and back together. And we'll continue that for a few rounds. And then we'll switch directions. And then from here, let's bring the soles of the feet together, and you can hold on however you're most comfortable. Your shins or your ankles or your feet. And then from here, go ahead and just lift one foot up and bring it back, and then the other and bring it back, out, in, out, in, and then just kind of get a little playful with it. So this is called Happy Baby. And so you'll see my knees are never completely straight. They don't need to be. We're just kind of playing a little with the hip joints. And again, if it's holding on to the ankles or shins a little lower down feels better, you can do that. Good. And then let's bring the soles of the feet together again. And then bring your knees back together and bring your left foot down to your mat and stretch that leg out straight. Good. And the right knee is hugged into your chest. And go ahead and switch. Hug the left knee in, stretch that right leg out straight. And then we'll switch back and forth a few times. Good. And the next time the right knee is in, go ahead and put your left foot down on the mat. So you're holding on to that right knee, and we'll point the toes and flex and point and flex and point and flex. And we'll make some circles. And we'll circle the other way. And we'll stretch that foot up toward the ceiling. And you can't see my foot, but I bet you already know that it is flexed. So those toes, I'm pulling those toes down toward me. Feeling that stretch back here. And slowly lowering. Bringing that right knee in. Stretching it up. Lowering it down. A few more times. And then eventually let's cross that right ankle over that left knee. And as always, you can just stay right here, or you could prop your left foot up on a block or a stack of books, or maybe a firm couch cushion or something if you wanted a little bit more stretch for the right hip. Or if that left knee will draw in far enough for you to hold on to that left leg, you can do that. And then the left foot comes down and the right foot uncrosses. The left knee comes into your chest. And so again, we're pointing and flexing and pointing and flexing, pointing, flexing, point, flex, and making circles. And circling the other way. And then stretching that left foot up. Pausing here. You can hold on to the back of the leg if you like. But remember that left foot is flexed, so those toes are pulling down. And we're feeling that stretch here, the back of the leg. And slowly lowering that straight left leg. Drawing the knee in, stretching up with the foot flexed, and floating down. And a couple more times. And then eventually we'll cross the left ankle over that bent right knee. And once again, this may be where you want to stay. Maybe you want to prop that right foot up on a cushion or something. I happen to have a pillow here. I could put that up there if I want to just bring it up a little bit. Or I can bring it up high enough to hold on to. Take your pick. Settle in, let your head be heavy. And then bring it down. And with your knees still bent, we're going to take your feet wider out to the outside edges of your mat. And we're going to let those hips, or those knees, start to rotate. Nice windshield wiper action. So as your knees travel to the right, take your left arm up next to your left ear. Stretch really long from that left hip bone all the way up the left side. A couple of nice breaths here. And then let those knees travel over to the left. Bring the left arm down, take the right arm up. And then back to center, arm comes down, feet come back into their normal width apart. And remember, if you've got something thick under your head, go ahead and take that away now. We're going to work on bridge pose. So on your inhale, lift your hips. On your exhales, lower. Inhales, lift. Exhales, lower. Follow your own breath now. So remember, if you'd like to hold your bridge pose for a few breaths, you can do that. Or you can just continue with the flowing bridge. eventually, we'll bring those hips down, bring your knees to your chest, and rock it side to side. And then we'll bring those feet down. And let's grab a strap. I forgot to mention at the very beginning that we need a strap. So if you need to pause this video and go get one, remember anything can do. You know, if you've got a robe and it has a tie, that can work. An old necktie, a belt, you know, a belt that you are willing to use for this. Anything can work. You could even use a thin towel. Good. So remember, we're going to put that strap around the ball of your foot, and as you can see, it is right up there near my toes. All right, and then we're going to stretch that leg up. And we're going to hold. And we're gently pulling down on the ball of the foot with the strap. And from here, we'll turn. So you're not going to be able to see what I'm doing here. Actually, I'm going to show you in a minute, but we're just going to turn the toes in and out. And we're going to keep the leg pointing straight up, but just for showing you what's happening with the foot, we're going to turn the toes in and out. And in and out. But we're doing that with your leg up here. So turn those toes in and out. So again, it's a little bit of a windshield wiper kind of movement. All right, and then bring that foot back to center. We're going to put both ends of the strap in the right hand. And remember, reach it on up there. And then we'll let that right leg drift out. And back up. And maybe it'll cross just a little bit over toward the left, but we're keeping that right hip on the ground. And so, out to the right. And up. And so take your time here. And when you're ready, go ahead and bend that knee, set your strap. Oh, don't set it aside. We're going to put it on the left foot. And remember, it's right near the toes. And we'll stretch that foot up. And for now, we just pause And we are gently exerting some downward pressure on the ball of the foot using the strap. And then we're going to turn those toes out and in and out and in, out, in, and we'll keep that going. And then both ends of the strap in the left hand. Right hip stays steady as the left leg floats out. Back up and across. And out again. Up and across. And continue. And then as you come back up, go ahead and set that strap aside, knees to chest. And then your feet come down. And let's roll to your right side. And we're going to do our big arm sweeps. I'm in my bedroom, got my bed kind of in the way here, so I think I'll scoot down a little more. That's a little better. And then let's switch directions. to your starting point. And then roll to your left side. And I'm gonna flip over here. And so your right arm is making the circles. And reverse. And then come back to center. So the last thing we're going to do before Shavasana is spend a little time doing some work on our bellies. So however you want to orient yourself to see what I'm doing, that's fine, but just come down onto your belly. And just for a moment, just let your forehead come to rest. And then from here, we're going to put your palms down on the ground right underneath your shoulders. And we're just going to press down and lift up the shoulders just enough to feel your upper back muscles working. And if your feet want to leave the floor back there, they can. Or you can leave your feet on the ground. Good. On the inhales, we're lifting. And on the exhales, we're lowering. Good, so you can lift just your head and shoulders, or you can also let your feet come up. And exhale back down. Good, I'm gonna angle myself a little so you can see what I'm talking about. So the inhales lift. Exhales lower. Another thing you can do, if you like, is on the lift, you can be in the center, and then as you lower, you can turn your face to one side. Lift back to center. Turn your face to the other side. Inhales lift. Exhales lower. Inhales lift. Exhales lower. Continuing at your own pace now. Just getting some really good strengthening for all the muscles in the back of the body. As you come up the next time, bring your hands around, make a little pillow for your forehead, let everything relax. And then we'll begin to make our way into place for Shavasana. So if it works for you to just roll onto your back, that's fine. Remember, if you want to put your legs up on a chair or a couch, or you want to lie on your bed for Shavasana, you can do that. You can always be seated in a chair or on your mat for Shavasana if that seems more appealing than lying down. But as you do, begin to make yourself comfortable. Make sure you're warm enough. Maybe you even want to turn off a light or close the blinds, or maybe put a washcloth or a hand towel over your eyes. But once you have found a position that is appealing, remember to surrender to gravity. Feel your eyes softening. Feel your jaw releasing. Let the sides of your throat melt and let your belly soften to receive and release each breath. Knowing that you are fully supported by the ground beneath you and by the community that still surrounds you, even if we are a bit farther apart than usual. Nowhere to go and nothing to do. Slowly and gently, allow your awareness to return to your breath, your body, and the space around you. Invite small movements into your fingers and toes. When you're ready, bend your knees and roll to your right side. And then gradually make your way back up to a seated position. Leaving your eyes closed, your focus turned inward. Just noticing how you're feeling at the end of your practice. And this poem seems appropriate for midsummer. It's called The Sun. Have you ever seen anything in your life more wonderful than the way the sun, every evening, relaxed and easy, floats toward the horizon and into the clouds or the hills or the rumpled sea and is gone? And how it slides again out of the blackness every morning on the other side of the world like a red flower, streaming upward on its heavenly oils. Say on a morning in early summer at its perfect imperial distance. And have you ever felt for anything such wild love? Do you think there is anywhere in any language a word billowing enough for the pleasure that fills you as the sun reaches out, as it warms you, as you stand there empty-handed? Or have you too turned from this world? Or have you too gone crazy for power, for things? And so we'll close our practice by joining our hands together in front of our hearts in a gesture of offering and of peace. And I do thank you all so very much for sharing your practice with me and especially with one another. Namaste. Thank you, everyone. I hope you're well. I love hearing from you, and I will see you again next week.